Huron Lakes Golf Course in Portland, Oregon. It looks like any other public course in America. But 80 years ago, this ground was a city home to more than 40,000 people. The largest wartime housing project the United States has ever built. For a few short years, it was also one of the most racially integrated communities in the country. Then, in a single afternoon, it disappeared. By the end of this story, you'll understand exactly how a city of 40,000 people vanished and why almost no one today knows it happened at all. To understand Vanport, you have to first understand Oregon itself. In 1857, Oregon entered the Union with a clause written directly into its constitution. No free black person was legally allowed to live here. It's the only state ever admitted with that language in its founding document. It was not just a law on paper. In the 1920s, Oregon's Ku Klux Klan had more than 14,000 members, 9,000 of them in Portland alone, powerful enough to help remove a sitting governor from office. When World War II created an urgent need for shipbuilders, industrialist Henry Kaiser built Vanport in just 110 days. 10,000 housing units on a floodplain along the Columbia River. Thousands of black workers migrated here for jobs that paid real wages, jobs Oregon's own laws had spent a century trying to keep out of their reach. Inside Vanport, they built a real community, nurseries, a theater, and a hospital. And in 1946, they opened a college to serve returning veterans, including black soldiers who had fought for a country that denied them basic rights. That college still exists today. You know it as Portland State University. But integration in Vanport did not mean equality. Beatrice Gilmore was 13 when her family moved here from Louisiana. In the South, she said racism was so open, you always knew where it stood. In Portland, it was hidden. You would not know if a business would turn you away until you were already inside. Ed Washington was 7 when his family arrived from Birmingham, Alabama. He was told he would finally attend school alongside white children. Instead, he says he faced more racist incidents in Vanport than he ever had in the segregated South, because here, the lines were never clearly drawn. You had to find them yourself. Vanport was always meant to be temporary. The Housing Authority's own charter called for nearly all of it to eventually be dismantled. When the war ended, white residents left by the hundreds each day, free to go anywhere they wished. Black residents mostly could not. Discriminatory housing policy across the rest of Portland left them nowhere else to go. On the morning of May 30th, 1948, Memorial Day, the Housing Authority printed a flyer for every doorway. It read, "Dykes are safe at present. You will be warned if necessary. You will have time to leave. Don't get excited." At 4:17 that afternoon, the railroad dike collapsed. A wall of water tore through the city. Sirens sounded, but families only had minutes to reach higher ground. 15 people died. Thousands lost everything they owned. Vanport was never rebuilt. The land sat empty for nearly 2 decades before the city of Portland built a golf course over it. But for the black families who lost everything, the story did not end there. They were forced into Albina, Portland's only other neighborhood open to them, already overcrowded before the flood ever hit. A Portland State University historian later put it plainly, the flood did not solve Portland's housing problem. It swept it in the final phase of what she called ghetto building. In 2021, 73 years after the flood, the Housing Authority's successor agency issued its first public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Today, you can visit the history yourself. At Delta Park, interpretive signs by Force Lake name the families who lived here. Portland State University is the living continuation of the Vanport Extension Center. And at the historic Alberta House in northeast Portland, the Vanport Mosaic is building the first permanent museum dedicated to this city's memory, now open while the work continues. This is one story. There are hundreds more like it, still waiting to be taught. History stays erased only if we let it.